ko te amorangi ki mua ko te hāpai o ki muri. Kia tau I hōna mana ki tanga ki runga ki tēnā o tātou. E hōnore he gloria he maungaro ki runga ki te mato te whenua, te whakaro pai ki ngā tangata katoa. Arohaina ngā teina, me ngā tuakana, e noho nei I rungi te whakaro ko tahi, pai mai.
Please be seated. E ngā mana, e ngā reo, e ngā iwi o ngā hau e whā, tēnei aku mihi mahana ki o koutou. Nau mai, hara mai, ki te whare o te kāwana tianara, ki whanganui atara. Kia ora mai tātou katoa. Distinguished guests, it is my pleasure to welcome you to Government House for today's investiture ceremony. I'd like to specifically acknowledge the Honourable James Shaw, Minister of the Crown, Rachel Hayward, Secretary of Cabinet and Clerk of the Executive, Mr Joe Harawira, our kaumātua, and Ms Puhi Wahine Tibble, our kuia. Hosting investiture ceremonies is one of the most important duties that I perform on behalf of His Majesty, the King of New Zealand. I'm delighted to bring together such an extraordinary group of New Zealanders. You have each brought pride and a greater sense of well-being to Aotearoa New Zealand through your outstanding achievements and your service to our communities. On behalf of all New Zealanders, I extend my sincerest thanks for your contributions. After each recipient is honoured, I invite you to join with me in congratulating them. Ms Catriona McLeod will now summon the recipients and read their citations.
Your Excellency, to receive the insignia of a Knight Companion of the New Zealand Order of Merit, the Honourable Sir Stephen Kosh of Porirua for services to the judiciary and legal education. The Honourable Sir Stephen Kosh was appointed a judge of the Supreme Court of New Zealand in April 2022. Sir Stephen was previously a High Court judge from 2011 to 2015, Judge of the Court of Appeal from 2015, and President of the Court of Appeal from 2016 until 2022. He joined the Independent Bar in 2005 and was appointed Queen's Counsel in 2007. He's taught restitution, evidence and civil procedure at Victoria University Law School. He was Pro-Chancellor of Massey University from 2006 to 2011 and currently teaches equity at Melbourne Law School. He has been a moderator and assessor for the Council of Legal Education. He has undertaken roadshow seminars for the Law Society's educational program and been a faculty member of the Law Society's Advanced Litigation Schools course. He's contributed to legal research and scholarship with book chapters and articles published in law journals. He has continued to contribute to legal education through involvement with Te Kura Kai Whakawa Institute of Judicial Studies, designing and presenting several courses. He was on the Te Kura board for 6 years and helped reshape the curriculum and approach to judicial education in New Zealand. As President of the Court of Appeal, Sir Stephen championed a programme to ensure junior counsel have the opportunity to present legal submissions alongside lead counsel when appearing in court. The Honourable Sir Stephen Kosh, please come forward. Your Excellency, to receive the insignia of an Officer of the New Zealand Order of Merit, Ms. Ria Up of Wellington for services to health. Ria Up, Te Arawa, Ngāti Pikiau, Ngāti Whakaue, was the Deputy Director General of Māori Health with the Ministry of Health, where she focused on reducing inequalities and improving access to health care. As Chief Executive of Mary Potter Hospice, she ensured Māori involvement, leadership and engagement became standard practice. She's held several governance roles, including with the Hutt Valley District Health Board and Health Quality Safety Commission. She's a member of the Wellington Free Ambulance Board and chair of Te Ropu Taki Māori, the Māori Leadership Group for Hospice New Zealand. Her consultancy, established in 2017, focuses on Māori advice in health policies and social services. Ms. Earp was the acting chief executive for Te Haora Runanga o Wairarapa, a Māori community mental health and social service provider. Ms. Ria Earp, please come forward. Mr. Andy Leslie of Lower Hutt for services to sport and the community. Andy Leslie was an all-black Test captain in the 1970s and represented New Zealand in softball and water polo. He's been president of New Zealand Rugby Football Union, the New Zealand Rugby Foundation, and the New Zealand Amateur Sports Association. He is a life trustee of the Halberg Trust and a trustee of Polaris Trust. He's been a board member and driving force behind the formation of the Community Facilities Trust, established to lead the rejuvenation and development of Hutt Valley facilities. He was instrumental in the Trust's development of the Walter Nash Stadium in Taita, the Nainai Bowling Club, the Kora Inui Stokes Valley Community Hub, and the Rico Sports Centre at Fraser Park. Mr. Leslie volunteers his time as a guest speaker at events and functions. Mr. Andy Leslie, please come forward. Mr. Chris McLean of Waikanai for services to conservation and publishing. Chris McLean is founder of the Whitcomb Press. He's written 15 books, including studies of Kapiti and Waikanai, a history of the Tararua Range, and his co-authored book, Tramping, a New Zealand History. His publications are regarded as authoritative resources, and he's ensured that tangata whenua perspectives are consulted on and included. He's been active in conservation and environmental activities, including dune restoration work at Waikanai Beach and wetland restoration in Queen Elizabeth Park between Paikakariki and Raumati South. He coordinates provision of native trees from local environmental companies, in addition to organising and undertaking physical planting work. Mr. McLean liaises with the Department of Conservation, Wellington Regional Council, scientists, park rangers and other interested parties on the Queen Elizabeth Park initiative. Mr. Chris McLean, please come forward. Your Excellency, to receive the insignia of a member of the New Zealand Order of Merit, Dr. Tim Bevin of Napier for services to health. Dr. Tim Bevin has been a general practitioner in Hawke's Bay for more than 30 years. He is a New Zealand Police medical officer and was appointed to the board of the Hawke's Bay Primary Health Organisation. He has been a medical officer for the Hawke's Bay District Health Board, now Te Whatu Ora Te Matau a Maui, Hawke's Bay, since 1984. He's volunteered at the Spring Hill Residential Addiction Centre for almost 30 years. Dr. Bevin founded City Medical Accident and Medical Service, serves as a doctor to the Hawke's Bay Rugby Union, and is a Cranford Hospice Board member and a trustee of the Princess Alexandra Medical Trust. Dr. Tim Bevin, please come forward. Mr. Fa'atili Yosua Isera of Wellington for services to Pacific education. Fa'atili Yosua Isera was principal of Mangaweka School, Strathmore Park, Ratahi School, Petone Central and Sutton Park. He established a Samoan bilingual class at Strathmore Park School. He's a founding member and national president of the Fagasa Incorporated, a national organization of teachers of Samoan. He initiated Samoan Language Week and established the annual Samoan Language Speech Contest for primary and secondary students. Mr. Isera was a founding member of the New Zealand Pacifica Principals Association and has been a cultural advisor for Toto o Le Moana, an education program to improve learning outcomes for Pacific students through strengthening school leadership. Mr. Fa'atili Yosua Isera, please come forward. Ms. Sally Shaw of Whakatane for services to nursing. Sally Shaw has dedicated more than 40 years to nursing in New Zealand. Ms. Shaw was a nurse advisor and assistant director of nursing with the Ministry of Health before becoming the chief nursing officer, then assistant director general of health. She served as the general manager of Eastern Bay of Plenty District Health Board. She was appointed to the Geneva-based International Council of Nurses to develop and implement the Leadership for Change program. She published her book, Nursing Leadership. She was board member, chair, then acting manager of the Eastern Bay of Plenty branch of Alzheimer's New Zealand. She contributed to the development of the National Dementia Services and Standards. Ms. Shaw is a member of Whakatane Contract Bridge Club. Ms. Sally Shaw, please come forward. Ms. Stacey Shortall of Wellington for services to the law and community. Stacey Shortall started her legal career in Wellington before working for Paul Weiss in New York, providing pro bono services in women's prisons. She provided research assistance to the United Nations International Criminal Tribunal of Rwanda on genocide as a war crime, and assisted with village outreach programs intended to free exploited girls in Ghana. She founded the Who Did You Help Today social movement and charitable trust. She developed the Mothers Project, a program in women's prisons to help mothers maintain meaningful relationships with their children. Ms. Shortall developed the Homework Club to assist children in low decile primary schools and Help Tank, enabling community causes to access skilled volunteers. Ms. Stacey Shortall, please come forward. Your Excellency, to receive the Queen's Service Medal, Mr. Rod Graham of Otaki for services to the community. Rod Graham's passion for education began at Wellington Teachers College in 1968. While at St. Peter Channel Kura, he worked to establish bilingual education within the school, a first for Otaki. He's a founding member of the Otaki Pottery Club, serving as president for 22 years. He has encouraged the arts through clay work projects such as Clay in Schools, the Festival of Pots and Garden Art, Matariki Star Glaze Festival, and Community Raku Firings. Mr. Graham is chairperson of the Cobwebs Community Trust, which works to support people in hardship. Mr. Rod Graham, please come forward. Ms. Karen Knudsen of Dunedin for services to choral music. Karen Knudsen was a piano and organ teacher prior to her appointment as musical director at Dunedin's Knox Church, where she's conducted the church and children's choirs. She has conducted the Knox Church Choir in several performances, including the International Peace Choir concert in Berlin. She was choir musical director of the Otago Girls and Boys High School choirs. She organised several trips and led the choir's participation in the New Zealand Choral Federation's The Big Sing competition. Ms. Knudsen is musical director of the Dunedin RSA Choir and plays double bass for the Dunedin Symphony Orchestra. Ms. Karen Knudsen, please come forward. Ms. Sylvia Smith of Morrinsville for services to netball. Sylvia Smith has been secretary of the Morrinsville Netball Centre and the Thames Valley Cluster, a collective of 8 netball centres for many years. A former netball player, she's coached and managed representative teams. She's held several roles for the Waikato Netball Association. She has been the driving force behind the Emerging Talent Day for school children to participate in the sport. She reinstated a senior representative team for the region to compete at the Netball New Zealand Open Grade Champs and promoted a men's netball competition. Ms. Smith volunteers with the Waikato Bay of Plenty Magic team. Ms. Sylvia Smith, please come forward. Your Excellency, the investiture has concluded.
New Zealand's honours system is our highest public affirmation of outstanding individual achievement. It reinforces those things that make our society better: service, manakitanga, and the pursuit of excellence. To our recipients, it has been a privilege to hear your stories. You have each used your talents and abilities to improve the lives of fellow New Zealanders. Martin Luther King spoke about the importance of such service when he said, "Not everyone can be famous, but everyone can be great, because greatness is determined by service. You only need a heart full of grace and a soul generated by love." I urge recipients to wear your insignia with pride at every opportunity, knowing that you inspire others by your example. On behalf of the King of New Zealand and all New Zealanders, I congratulate you on your achievements, and I thank you once again for your service to our country. Kia ora koutou I huhi mai nei I tēnei rā. Now you will see on the back of the program the words to the national anthem in Te Reo Māori in English. I especially look forward to hearing the choral group leading us in this rendition. I now invite you to stand with me and join in singing the national anthem.